Thank you all. So as we get settled into our preferred seated position, you can rest your hands in your favorite hand position or mudra. Feel your sit bones plugging down into the ground. Like a root system that sinks, reaches energetically beneath you. You're actually sensing beyond your physical body, actually sensing underneath your physical body as we connect to breath. And I'm going to suggest, as you're reaching with your feeling and your sensitivity beneath your sit bones, since we're doing some non-rational practices, feel that you're deriving your breath from that same depth. And if your skull bones are aligned over sit bones, feel that buoyant reach toward the sky. Feel the shoulders relax, the hands relax. And today, attuning to, so intentionally listening to, feeling for, a cultivation of our health by way of those enlivening artifacts. So, some of how we may feel that enlivenment is deep breath, feeling for that shimmer, that pulse, that aliveness, just as frequently as you can. Now, if you can identify that, there's that aliveness quality, we have one extra step or process, is to let that situate in your body. Let that take root. Let that enlivenment, that buzzy, pulsing, maybe swirling alive quality have a home in your cells. I found this to be compatible with healing processes, rejuvenating processes. Okay. So for our pranayama, we'll work with Kapalabhati. Okay. Now, I'm just kind of giving you my sense of things just from my practice, and so you may find little differences that work better for you. But as we work Kapalabhati, let's remember the how do you say the translation of Kapalabhati is skull shining. Right? So we may get a little head buzziness. A few caffeine connoisseurs, this to me is like a mate tea, a green tea, but a mate tea that really high light kind of buzz. So to get that head shimmering and shining, aim for your exhales to come out the tip of your nose, the third of your nostril furthest away from your face. Low belly, tip of nostrils. We'll do about 50 or 60 pumps, and let's begin. Keep going, keep going. I also notice when I do this, to get that head buzz, it helps to uncollapse the neck. So the head position over the pelvis, keeping that back of tongue, soft palatal area open, can really help these breaths reach the brain. So continue. Once you're about 50 or 60 pumps in, that's a good time to just pause, resume Ujjayi breath, and just feel the qualitative shift in your breath. Just feeling your hearing, your vision if you work eyes open. Does that bring some clarification to some of those head senses, the eyes, the ears, the taste, or your skin, touch? Now taking 3 more breaths. Let's make that link. If you're established in that, there's that buzz, there's that enlivenment, I want you to breathe as if you're drawing that right into your brain cells and into your blood cells and into these glial cells of the head, which are part of our immune and lymph. We're going to do one more round. Kapalabhati, low belly exhalation pumps. Tip of nose exit. We move out of Ujjayi in order to do the Kapalabhati. Okay, so solely exhales. Here we go. About another 50 or 60 pumps. And after those 50 or 60 pumps, that'll be sufficient. Resume your Ujjayi breath and just find out the second round, can you pinpoint, can you feel that kind of buzzy quality? Most people will tend to feel it in their blood or in their head area. And if you can connect to that, can you bring that into your heart? It's where all of our blood circulates through. This particular technique can feel a little heady, so we're actually drawing on that headiness and just feeding it into the blood, feeding it into the heart. Take one more very deep breath. We're just making these conscious connections. There you go. There we go. Now, if you need to switch the cross of your legs, now's a really good time. So I'm going to start with that little fingertip massage at the head of the shoulder. So you can find the head of your shoulder just by following your collarbone all the way to the end. You may feel some knobbly nubs, and that's your collarbone and this upper arm bone. I'm just going to go right into those knobbly areas and just little fingertip massage. This might be a tender spot. It might kind of feel achy or tender, so just connect to that breath. And now reach down with that same side, palm facing away from your navel. We'll go through our hands and our wrists. So I choose to have palm away from navel so that I'm feeling from the fingertip around the palm and up the arm. I lightly draw the pinky back. Inhale. And bringing that breath down into the shoulder and under the collar, and then exhaling, simply registering that sensation through the fingertip, palm, however far up the arm that goes. And we'll just do one breath per finger. So let's move to the next. Just letting that sensation register. Now, if we've had our hands involved in accidents or such, just as you're moving through the hands and the fingers and the sensations, take note if there's changes in your breath or even in your hip crease. If you discover you're scrunching up in your hip crease or your core or your breath, just take note of that and just gently open up the breath again, relaxing the hips. Sometimes when we've been involved in some accidents or little shocks to our system, there can be little residual defense mechanisms in play, and so I just like to feel when those show up. And then I just go through an inquiry process. Is that a defense pattern that still serves me? And if I'm not sure if it's so useful anymore, I connect to breath. I just start to feel almost like onion skin layers. I just start to feel that defensive pattern softening, shedding, relaxing out of the way. So I just kind of comfort that pattern away from its old job title. And of course, we'll just move through the other side. Let's give that head of shoulder a little wake-up massage. It's right in about here. So the end of the collarbone. Good. And if it's tender and you notice a little hesitation around your deep breath, great noticing. So maybe I am kind of scrunching my shoulder in and hesitating with my breath. So maybe I relax the shoulder. Oh, I notice that pattern. And as I connect to my breath, I just help comfort that scrunching or defensive residual. I just help it take a little lunch break. And then I'll move through the other hand. All right? So Susan, is this the side, the left side? All right. Looks a little like we're holding it differently. Had you had a forearm all the way up the forearm, like a cast? Huh? Yeah. Right. It looks a little bit. Sure. So reaching out through that thumb, reaching out through that index, that seems to, there you go. And anytime you need to give that bicep a massage, that might actually play in a little bit. It seems like there's some pretty good effect with that bicep massage. Anytime like in dolphin or some of those places, you just might want to tricep, bicep. 'Cause I bet they're pretty hamstrung with that forearm. Yeah. It really is amazing what shows up in in our non-personal meetings, but it's wonderful. It's wonderful. All right. Let's change our position. So we've gotten through both hands. Let's unwind. We'll straighten out that right leg. Okay. And I've got my left heel drawn in, knees set widely apart, and I go wide. So start to get into my inner leg a little bit. Left hand, reach behind back. Can you latch onto that right thigh or maybe some clothing? Inhale, raise the right arm up. So I'm lifting my right armpit away from my right sit bone, which I'm kind of letting sink into the earth. And now exhale, lengthen through that right side. And we'll set that hand down. Now, my left wrist, the back of my hand, the back of my left arm, is pressing. I'm kind of nudging down atop my sacral and pelvic bones. And now inhaling, lengthening through that right side waist. Lengthening my trunk away from my left wrist bones. Now try this out. If you can feel the back of your hand against your torso, I'm referring to the left hand now, just feel and notice when you nudge or put a little more pressure into that little finger side. And then just release that specific pressure. And then just feel and notice what happens in the head of the shoulder when you nudge your index knuckle into your torso. So I'm kind of rocking a little bit back and forth, and I'm going to nudge my pinky knuckle into my pelvis a bit. And release. Inhale, press up. So I'm going to just bring my left hand out of hiding. All I was doing was just this little rocking. Pressuring here, pressuring there. And as I make those little itty bitty rotations in that behind the back grasp, you can sometimes feel how that refracts all the way up into the neck and the jaw and even the head. So this hand to skull, hand to heart connection is rich. Let's do the other side. So I've got the left leg out, the right heel tucked in, and I'm taking my right hand, it's knuckles toward my torso, going behind and getting a good grasp. Because on this side too, I'm going to do that little rocking action. It's a little rocking, like index, pinky. So I want a good grip. Inhale, raise the left arm, lifting the left armpit away from that left sit bone. And exhaling, reach with that left arm. Left side ribs lengthens, and we'll set that down. So I'm feeling for that head of right shoulder. And I'm going to put a little extra pressure through my pinky knuckle, like I'm rolling my knuckle into my left butt. And let that hand just kind of unpressure. And I'm going to put a little extra pressure, index knuckle into my butt. You feel how that hand, that little itty bitty rotation might tug on some different structure around the brain, neck, shoulder. And one more time, I'm going to press that little finger knuckle into my butt. Of course, I don't want your hand falling asleep, so I'll open that up. And then inhale, press your way up. Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back, hands. Let's set up for some dolphin. Now, we set up dolphin today. Get a little specific with these fingers. Each of our fingers, not only are they kind of these kind of roadways of the energetic system, but structurally they will play into different parts of our shoulder. Okay? So having that access into all parts of our hand and fingers is good shoulder and neck work. All right, so we got the elbows under the shoulders. You can do this two ways. One, I'm going to go palm down, the middle finger lining up with my forearm bones. So there's this rather straight line. It's like my middle finger and my forearm bones create an axis. Now I'm going to lift the hands up a little bit to more like seal up or contact my wrist, my palm to the ground, and then reapply my palm pressure down. So I want maximum contact, right? Contact and sensation is learning information. So I want to get my learnings from all these contact moments. Inhaling. Push with your forearms into the earth, and I'll stretch your thumb tip out. Stretch your index fingertip out. Stretch your middle fingertip out. Exhaling, press the knees off the ground. Now, press out through that middle finger thumb tip. Pardon me, let me say that again. Press outward through that middle fingertip. In a lot of ways, this is kind of an axial digit. As you press out through that middle fingertip, press down through the index and the thumb. So you'll be turning those arm bones. And if those forearms are a little bunched up or kind of laminated together, you may feel some heat or some fatigue, and maybe that would be okay. Just keep feeling all the way through the hand, all the way through the fingertips. All right, gently set the knees down. Okay, so now we're going to flip the hands palm up. Now, when I turn the palms up for this iteration of dolphin, I find it's really important for me to not just push the elbow down, but to push down through the forearm part of my arm. Okay, so again, stretch the hand open. Press out through that thumb tip, that index tip, that middle fingertip. And on your next exhale, press the knees off the ground. And if you keep losing feeling for the hand, just keep outreaching, just reset, repeat. Reach out through the thumb tip, reach out through the index fingertip, reach out through the middle fingertip. Sometimes when areas have been a little kind of lulled or damaged, but we reach with our mindfulness, our feeling in and feeling in and feeling in. Sometimes we can spark some new connection through those areas. All right, let's release. We'll set the knees down, have a rest from dolphin. And let's lie on back. If you have a roller block nearby, that'll work fine. We'll get to that in a moment. And we'll start with some elbow to knee. So we've got our feet off the ground, our hands can support the back of the head. Inhale, the head and shoulder blades off ground. We'll use a little abdominal pressure just to keep the low back ribs on the ground. Exhaling, reach the left leg out. As I press through the ball mounts and stretch my toe tips away from my ball mounts, I pull low belly down. Inhaling, bend the left knee. Return to our start spot. Use a little abdominal pressure, keeping that mid-back, low mid-back down. Exhale, reach right leg out. I'm spreading, intentionally feeling inside the foot, the ball mounds, feeling all the toe tips extending, almost like growing away from my ball mounds, and pull low belly down. Inhale, bend right knee. All right, since we're all familiar with these, let's do 4 more per side. It's for a nice little sweet foot find and warm up. So working and feeling toward the periphery of the body. We always do this magic trick a lot together, but when we focus and we feel to the periphery, the outermost edges of our body, we can see, we can feel, we can see evidence of there being a more circulation, blood flow, feeling. And when we don't exercise this feeling all the way to the periphery with regularity, the body in its wonderful sense of economics, it starts to withdraw from the periphery. So part of our practice is just reinstating those feeling and circulatory and energetic pathways all the way to the edges of our body, the ball mounts, the toe tips. And feeling can lead the way. Great. Great. And when you are through, we will grab that roll and we'll place that right between our legs. This is kind of a unique feature of Forrest yoga, which I really appreciate. Is that with these emphasis moves of feeling all the way to the periphery of the body, active feet, active hands, we can keep these areas alive, circulating, fed, nourished, in health. Right? So we've got our roll between our legs. And we've got our legs skyward. I'm going to press out through the heel bone and the ball mounds of the feet. Stretch my toe tips away from all of those places. Inhaling into the low back and the low belly. Oh, pause. Squeeze the the object, curling tailbone. Exhale the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. And press out through the heels, spreading the ball mound, stretching the toe tips away from all of that. Pull low belly down. Good. Inhale, let up pressure as you set the head down. Pause, re-squeeze. Curl tailbone, exhale, head, shoulders off the ground. Lift them up. And a good heel reach. Feel into all those toe tips. Pull low belly down. In fact, let's do a silly little practice here. Inhale, the head down. We're going to do 5 more abdominals. We're going to focus into each toe tip so you can feel where there might be some absence or lack of sensing, because it's fun. So focus on the big toe tip. Squeeze the roll, curl tailbone. And as you exhale, the head and the shoulder blades up. Keep the roll squeeze and feel into the space of your big toe tip. Pull low belly down. Inhale, set the head down, relax the squeeze a little bit. Now you're going to feel one toe over. So the toe next to that. Sense it as best as you can. Squeeze the roll, curl tailbone. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades up. And just practice feeling into that toe, that second toe. Pull low belly down. Might get a little fuzzy here for a moment. Inhale, set the head down. And I dare you to find the toe next to that. You can look if you need to. Can you feel that toe? Squeeze the roll. Curl tailbone. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Just practice feeling we're third toe in. Now, if you don't have one of these digits, you can feel to where that digit was, or you can just feel whichever is the next one, the neighboring one. All right. If you have 2 more toes to go, we're going to do 2 more rounds. Inhale into your low back. Squeeze the roll. Feel the next toe. Do your best. Exhaling the head and the shoulders up, pulling the belly down. And inhaling, setting the head down. If you're on your last or your outermost toe, here we go. A lot of people have broken the littlest toe or the most outside toe, so you may have to feel through some of the calcification or the... All right. And then release. So we're going to press into bridge. If you like having a block for support, you just have that near. We'll set our feet up, hip width apart, fingertip distance away. Inhaling, feel the rib cage lifting away from the pelvis. Kind of slightly arcing up toward the chin. Exhale, shift the tailbone up, the buttock lifts, the spine lifts, and we enter bridge. Anytime you want the support, add in the block. part of how we can remember and feel that liveliness quality is to actually get some blood flowing into an area, right? Blood is life. So having our left foot stationed, like well planted, inhale, pick the right foot up, drawing the knee toward the chest. And now exhale, send that right leg up. And I'm going to encourage us, for the sake of blood, for the sake of our intention and liveliness today, is really press that left foot down into the ground. Get and help that leg and those muscles work. Now, when you start to feel a little warmth or a little blood or a little activity starting to happen, deepen, connect to your deep Ujjayi breath. When you feel that breath is charged up by your pose experience, you can feel that blood, you can feel that liveliness quality. Give that a home in your body. So start to wash your breath through your core. Getting all the way up into the brain, the head. As you find ways to internally soften that blood and those fluids and nutrients can get into those deeper layers. Let's switch sides by placing the right foot down, getting firm pressure. Now inhaling, draw the left knee toward your chest. As we exhale, reach up through that left leg. And Susan, find out if you can breathe all the way into the heads of your shoulders. If you can even kind of draw and connect the energy of this bridge and this leg work all the way into the heads of shoulders. And inhaling, set that left foot down. When we press off of that block, just move it off to the side. Take your time to descend. Once you've lowered, we'll turn onto a side, and when we press up, I'll remind and talk us through shower. It's kind of like downward dog, super supported on the wall. So I'll show it to you. My back end will be toward you. Remember this, hands about shoulder width apart. I stand about 3 feet from the wall. And I find that best spot. So as I hinge and I reach my sit bones back, I'm creating this really delightful, I can even visualize it here for you. You're kind of creating this, taking the slack out move, right? So it's a little bit of traction. So if you have a wall spot that you can get to, no mat necessary. I usually stand about 3 feet to begin. Set the hands shoulder width apart. And I just move my sit bones away from the wall. When my hands slide to about shoulder height or a little higher, that's where I pause. And I want to have that spacing so that I can lean my butt back. I'm letting the weight of my body hang back so my whole trunk and spine are in a state of slight suspension or traction. This is a really great move to practice reaching energetically all the way, not only into the hands, but beyond the hands. So when you're shifting your sit bones back, there's likely a moment where you feel your hands might disconnect from the wall. And that's precisely when reach with your feeling, with your awareness, go all the way into the wrist, into the palms, go beyond the palms. So it's a little bit like you're feeling into the wall. You're expanding your sensitivity into the wall. We'll give it just a few more deep breaths. Getting breath under the shoulder blade, armpits, upper back. And to exit, step forward, step out. All right. And let's come back to our mat and we'll do some suns. Are you good for hand pressure, Susan? I'm just going to kind of make it up as you go along. Well, let's all together, let's go through a hands-free suns, just so we can all have it in our toolbox. And then we'll do it a couple times, and then I'll talk us through some suns the way we usually do them with our hand pressure. And it'll give everyone some tool sets. So first couple of rounds of suns will be rather hands-free. Okay, the beautiful thing is we can tailor yoga to meet to meet our needs. So inhaling, we'll spread the hand bones and reach the arms up. Exhaling is folding. And if you want to spread the hands and push the palms as if toward the ground or hover them off the ground, you can feel how that wrist kind of moves. And we're going to step directly back into lunge. Inhale, step the left foot back, draw the arms up. Now, exhaling, bring your hands to your hips. I'm going to back up and set the right knee down. Okay? This can be done hands-free or just send the fingertips down. We're going to do a hands-free cobra. So inhale, stretch your fingertips down, lifting the chest toward the sky, just like a camel, like a freestyle camel. And exhaling, we'll just relax that. Now, we're going to step that left foot forward. Inhale. Left foot forward, the arms reach up for lunge. And then exhaling, we'll step the right foot forward to fold. And if you like, you can flex the hands and push the palms at the ground without putting any pressure. Good. Inhale, stand, reach the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. We'll do one more because these are fun. Inhale, reach up, spread the hand bones, feel into the fingertips. Exhaling, fold. You can flex at the wrists like you're pulling your fingernails back toward your head. Inhale, step the right foot back, lunge. We'll set the knee down. Okay, now I'm going to back up and onto my knees. Exhaling, I'm going to push till my weight's on my right knee and set the left knee down. Okay, so this is our vertical cobra. Inhale, stretch the fingertips at the shins as you intentionally lift and articulate the chest bones up. And exhaling. I'm going to flex my wrists again. See how I'm palm down and I'm stretching those fingertips toward my shoulder. Here's the lunge. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Draw the arms up. Exhale, step the left foot forward, fold. Inhaling, stand, reach the arms up. Sinking the heels down into the earth, exhaling, hands to heart. All right. So if that works for you and you love it, just keep working that. That's our hands-free sun. If you want to add some pressure to the hands, I'll talk through our quote-unquote usual way of doing suns. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling, fold. In fact, I really like that palm outreach, so I'm going to do it here. Inhale the left foot back, lunge. Now, I'm going to place the hands down, lowering for cobra. So step right foot back, lower all the way down. And our cobra, inhaling the chest bones away from the pubic bones. So you feel that whole front line of the body getting a little stretch and some breath. Exhaling, downward dog. Flexing the wrist and pushing out through the palms. Lunge, inhale, left foot forward, setting the right knee down. Hands to ground, exhaling, step the right foot forward. Inhale, stand, reach the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Okay, and I'll just do one more tiny little just hand variation. This doesn't get talked through, but I like it, so I'll talk us in. Inhale, And take the arms up overhead. And now exhaling. If your fingertips touch the floor, I'm going to kind of tent or dome my hands and just very gently start to push my fingertips onto the ground. So I'm just making a dome architecture and just adding some fingertip pressure. That's it. Inhale, step the right foot back. For lunge, now open up my hands again, reaching up. Hands to floor, exhaling, step the left foot back and lower. Right, as we inhale, we're getting this little extension of the spine and this stretch through the front line of the body, so cobra or our vertical cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Any intentional outreach through the fingertips is great. Lunge, inhale, right foot forward, setting the left knee down. And for the fold, I'm going to bring the hands down, exhaling, left foot forward. If my fingertips all touch the ground, and create kind of a dome, a semi-dome, and just kind of push a little bit. Inhale, stand, reach arms overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. So I'm going to just pause and show you maybe a little more. So that dome is kind of this shape right here. Okay. And that dome is a really strong architecture. It's kind of like you're grabbing a cantaloupe. Okay. When I lose these domes, there can be a lot of collapse in the body. So all I'm really doing, I can do this on blocks too, is I'm just creating grab the melon, having all the tips of my fingers are kind of curved. All my fingertips are curved. And I'm just adding like ounces or pounds of pressure, like not more than 5 pounds of pressure. That's all. And why I do that is just to feel that different part of my hand, just getting a little, I love working with the hands, so I try to find a lot of great positions for them. All right. Once more, inhale, reach up. Exhaling, fold. Now, let's inhale the left foot back for lunge, and know we'll be here a few moments. Now, if you're feeling kind of comfortable, you can even reach up and a little bit back, so you're getting some more articulation in those upper back bones. Wow. I'm going to take my hands, or you can go the back of your forearms, the back of your hands. I'm going to find all sorts of ways to work this. You can go forearm to the back of the sacrum, and that will leave pressure off the palm and the wrist. Or if you feel comfortable, you can go hand pressure atop the hip bones. Okay. So inhaling, press with either your forearms or your hands downward. And no matter how I press down, I'm pushing my arm bones down, freeing up that collar, that head of shoulder area that we massaged earlier. So however I'm pressing down with my forearms or with my hands, I'm kind of freeing up that AC joint. Take one more very deep breath into both heads of shoulders. twisting lunge, pardon me. So you're going to release the hand pressure, arm pressure. Inhale, back the hips over your left knee. And exhale the left arm over the right thigh. Now, if you want, Susan, I don't know how what's in your line of progress, but you can make this moment right here. If you're working on curling your fingers and making a fist, you can just make a really strong fist, and then I would just open it right back up. And I like to do it with my breath because most of our efforts, our grasping efforts, physical efforts will happen with an exhale. So I might inhale and open up the hand, and then exhale, curl up the fingers, kind of getting those, wrapping the thumb around the digits. And I can see my wrist, my knuckles, wrist and forearm line up. And then I inhale and open. And then exhaling, curl, close, and cinch. There you go. Let's do one more. So I'm going to stretch out every single fingertip, out, and out, and out, and out, unfurling that hand very deeply. And then exhale, curl it all in, into the palm, wrap that thumb around. Let's make sure we get that thumb in there. Good. So I'm going to switch to the other side. Inhaling, unwind. You can set your hands down for cobra or step your right foot back for that vertical cobra. Okay, so exhaling, stepping, lowering. Inhale, cobra. Or cobra from the knees. But either way, I'm getting my chest bones lengthening away from my kneecaps. Exhaling, downward dog. Let's do that lunge bit on the other side. Inhale, left foot forward. So I'm getting my feet active. My front foot is active. My back foot, my big toe, reaching, feeling all the way for that back toe. That's it, Andrew. That's it. That's it, Vijay. That's it. That's it, Brett. Now, adding hand pressure to hips. So I can bring my thumb and forefinger over my hip bones. Okay, there's another arch right there. So it's a way of practicing that really strong architecture. And if you're not adding pressure to your hands today, you can go forearms, so open-handed forearms across the back of your pelvis. And however you're pressing down on the pelvis, press down with the intent of opening up in front of the heads of the shoulders. Deep breath. So your pressure your downward pressure, feel how that helps you access the heads of your shoulders. And release. Twisting lunge. Inhale as back the hips over the right knee. And exhaling, we'll hook the right elbow over the left thigh. actually takes a lot of neurological drive to make a really strong fist. So if you're into creating these training moments where we're helping the body ask for more intense, really voltage, if we want to grow those synaptic connections, running voltage, and I mean that in the literal sense, is a big part of that. So how do I run a lot of neural drive? Isometrics, making a really strong muscle, making a really deep, strong contraction. Okay. And so that's how I ask the body to ask for more voltage. And when I start to ask for more voltage, I have to come up with biological means to get more drive, more voltage, more rev to an area. And then I start to grow those little nerve connections. And I start to grow that neuromuscular intelligence. And I start to grow the capillaries that will feed those nerve pathways. So this is a very electrical body. Right? Inhale, let's unwind. Now let's all step our left foot back. And let's all grab a roll and put it between the legs. This isn't camel, we're just doing a vertical boat, solidarity. Solidarity vertical boat. I put a little extra cushion under my knees. And let's interlace the hands behind the back. All right. Now, little details here. You can just interlace and go, and that's fine. I can interlace and I can pinch my fingers against each other. And that will create some more of that musculature that builds that hand arch. Okay, I'm going to kind of squeeze my fingers a little bit together. Inhaling, grow, lift the chest up away from the roll. Now, just stay in with those hands. As you exhale, pinch, squeeze your pinky digits together, your ring to pinky, your middle to ring, your index to middle. Inhaling. I'm keeping that roll squeeze just so I can keep lifting up through my low back, lifting the chest up. And as I sink the knuckles toward my calves, I get a little awesomeness through the heads of shoulders. Let's do another. Inhale. And release. And set that roll off to the side. Here's one more thing. I'll just kind of offer this. You get a nice, here's that grasping. So just grabbing the edge of it, I kind of fingertip grab and release. This roll's actually a really great size for that melon squeeze, right? Squeeze and release. Squeeze. And I'll go for the pinky, the ring, the middle, the index. I'll go thumb to pinky, and then I'll go thumb to ring finger, thumb to middle finger, thumb to index. Let's try it on the other side. So I get a nice little melon grip. I'll squeeze the thumb toward the pinky, thumb to ring, thumb to middle, thumb to index. Cool, that's plenty. You feel how that starts to ring all the way through those forearms right up into that elbow. Okay? So if you're pressing back into downward dog, away we go. So when we inhale is it the right foot forward? Yes. Let's cushion the left knee. Okay. We're working this lunge, grasping the foot with either left hand or both hands. When I grab it with both hands, I interlace. Because when I interlace, and I exert that little pressure, foot into fingers, and I'm kind of pinching my digits, my fingered bones toward each other, I can get very specifically into the shoulder, just depending on which digits I'm squeezing together. Okay, I'm going to straighten out those elbows, and now push with that right foot. Inhale, grow, lift the chest up. Exhaling, just keep that a medium finger pinch. You know, the way you would close your fingers together to hold water in your hands, you know, like that kind of sealing the fingers close to each other. Yeah, get those little fingers too. Those little fingers go right through the elbow. That's part of your elbow. And release. We'll step back for chaturanga. Okay. Lowering down. Now inhale into your version of cobra, horizontal or vertical cobra. Exhaling, lower. Press back, downward dog, and we'll address the other side. So inhale, the left foot forward, cushioning the right knee. Good. So if I can only grab my right foot with one hand, I'll grab the right with the right. If I can grab both, cool. And if I can interlace, it's a grasp I like even more. As well, you have this foot, if you have it with two hands, let's play with this. If you can seal together, press together your littlest two fingers, take one deep breath. It's like you're squeezing your ring and your pinky close to each other. And just feel where that refracts in the shoulder and into the neck and the chest. Right, now what if you were to kind of pinch together your ring and your middle finger, the middle couple of fingers? You can feel that's a different part of your arm, elbow, shoulder. And if you kind of pinch together your index and your middle, yeah, it starts to move into that more probably frontal part of the shoulder. And release. All right. I'm going to make a very simple switch. So we'll inhale the hands down. Exhaling, step back to lower. Cobra. Inhale, belly into the earth. Breath under the diaphragm, under the heart, under the collarbones. Exhaling, downward dog. We'll just do a last pose on each side, lounge lunge. So let's inhale the right foot forward, set the left knee down. So a couple of maybe workarounds, Susan, if you want to. If I have enough block altitude, I can do a forearm lean. Okay, so that's one way to come into it. And the other way is I'm real light with the side and the turn and the lean, and I can use my roll and just work. So I'm going to put my roll kind of out there. It sticks. It's not going to slide. And I'm just going to work thumb to pinky and release. Thumb to ring, a little pinch and release. Thumb to middle finger and release. Okay, so you can find little places and ways to. In fact, I really like this. If I get my left arm out there enough, it's almost like it's a really good rib, bicep, shoulder blade find. Thanks. Thanks for the idea. This way the weight is very minimal on the hand and the sensory input is very rich. Just want to create sensory rich environments for learning and healing. That's really how it'll happen. All right, when we release, I'm going to change over to the other side. I'm going to pass through cobra and downward dog. So inhaling, stepping back. And exhaling, downward dog. And let's address the last side. Inhale, left foot forward. We've got a lounge lunge. And if you're playing along with us in hand games, what I've got propped up here is I've got my roll and I'm grabbing it with the melon grab. And I'm just bringing these little momentary pinches. So sensitivity first. And what's kind of nice about this melon grab is I can put a little bit of pressure in my palm, but my hand isn't creased the way it usually is when I put my hand on the ground. Okay. When we release, we'll inhale, step the right foot forward and fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. And exhaling, hands to heart. Let's have a seat. I'll do one more, just hand-heart meditation. So any comfortable seat will work. Cross-legged is perfectly fine. I'm just going to go hand over hand, right over center of chest. And this meditation just comes right out of the shape of our own anatomy, which is the heart, as it's, we'll say, for lack of a better word, pumping. That's right, as it's moving the blood out of the heart and into the body. The first place the blood goes is to the heart muscle itself. First vessel is right to the heart muscle. So we're going to inhale into heart, under hands. Like you're filling up this whole reservoir, shoulders, heart, chest. And as you're exhaling, feel attentionally that you can rivulet your attention through the shoulder and the arm line, around that soft bend of the elbow, through the wrists, the hands, the fingertips, and right into the heart. So this is a very circular pathway. Right out the shoulder, around the soft bend of the elbow, the wrists, the hands, the fingertips, feeding that breath right into the heart. Now what's really cool about this, just a simple healing heart-hand technique, is notice how you start to feel in the shoulder and in the arm. Notice how that loving presence, that willingness to feel and love and know and sense affects the arms and the wrists and the hands. So we benefit by being a carrier of what is good. Remain here as long as you like, but I also want to offer Shavasana. So if you'd like to lie down at this point, you can continue the meditation lying down, certainly. And just by simply being a willing carrier of kindness, of loving awareness, we seem to benefit. And I found that as I'm willing to simply be a carrier, less and less do I need to do these self-care techniques. Less and less do I need to do this thing for myself. And more, just being a willing, interested carrier. seem to benefit. But always, and please don't take my methodology for law. Always test these things out for you. Because you may need to do some self-care. You may need to consciously turn efforts onto self. That might be necessary. This becomes a gradual shift in having the medicine, knowing the medicine, administering the medicine, to simply walking as being the medicine. We are medicine carriers. It lives in us. May it be so. Rest as long as you like. If you would like to exit at this time, bend knees. Turn to a side. And press to seated. Love seeing y'all. Namaste.